On the subject of cup of tea, we're shortly coming to our tea break, and to bless us on our way and our final welcomer, I do believe that Bishop Vivienne Faull is here and is good enough to be making her way up to the stage. Whilst she's getting herself to the lectern, and I'm taking a minute or two to introduce her, can I just remind our our online participants that there is a Zoom chat cafe that they're very welcome to head over to. You will see the button marked Zoom Chat Cafe on your ticket holders page at the bottom. So now, here in the hall, Bishop Vivienne Faull, who stands before us, is the 56th Bishop of Bristol. I'll get to the end. Indeed. After leaving Oxford, doing youth work and teaching with the Church Mission Society in North India, she trained for ministry. She began cathedral ministry in 1990 as chaplain at Gloucester Cathedral, and also married there and was ordained priest in 1994. That same year, she moved to become canon pastor and later vice provost at Coventry Cathedral. She became the first woman to lead a Church of England cathedral as provost and then dean of Leicester in 2000. Her great focus was on local areas of deprivation. In 2012, she was appointed Dean of York. She is serving her second term on the English Anglican Roman Catholic Committee for Ecumenical Conversations and was elected as one of the female representatives in the House of Bishops in 2013. We're extremely grateful to her for, in the middle of her hectic schedule, taking the time to come and be with us, and she'll be sharing a cup of tea with us and happy to meet us. Bishop Viv, thank you so much.
Not at all. And I'm hoping the technology, yes, it is working. And first of all, to welcome you to St Michael's Church and St Michael's Centre, which is one of the Anglican churches in the Diocese of Bristol. So my church. And I've just had a minute or two with the incumbent here. And you can see what innovation there is here. And you can see the older church and the newer church. And it is a delight to have you all here. I've seen something of your preparation. I've seen the full programme you have, and I am full of awe and a certain amount of trepidation for your stamina over this weekend. So as I welcome you, I do wish you God's energy and God's determination. I will pray towards the end. I have just a few minutes. And I come before you, first of all, in realism, in terms of the ministry of the Church of God, knowing that certainly in ecumenical terms we live in somewhat difficult and indeed peculiar times. Only last week, the Bishop of Ebbsfleet, one of our so-called flying bishops, swapped sides from the Church of England to the Church of Rome. And that confuses, I think, all of us. And we wait to hear more of his story. So a realism about that as an example of many other areas of ecumenical fluidity and, in some places, sadly, inertia and failure. So it is a great joy to be here in your company. I am full of gratitude for the welcome I have always received from my Roman Catholic colleagues. In 1982, I began work as a deaconess in the Church of England. No one was quite sure what deaconesses were for. What the local Roman Catholic priest clearly knew was that I was a sign of something that he favoured and something that he supported. And I think he was well into his 80s at that point. He wanted a photograph of me in the sanctuary of his church. And 1982, he said, "There's a woman in the sanctuary of Marseille." And there was almost a similar response when, representing English Ark, I met Cardinal Cock in Canterbury with one or two others, including Rowan Williams. And no doubt Cardinal Cock thought that, I must be someone significant because Rowan was there as Archbishop and so forth. Well, far be it from that. But what I remember him turning to me and asking 3 times, "Are you a priest?" I said, "Yes, I'm a priest." "Are you really a priest?" Now, I wasn't quite sure whether that was a political question or a theological question, but certainly the third time, "I am a priest." And there was a wonderful smile on his face and a twinkle, and I wasn't sure whether that was what I had expected, but it was certainly encouraging. So thank you to all those of whatever status, whatever place in the Roman Catholic Church for your support from my days in Liverpool to my days in Bristol and my dear colleague, Bishop Declan. And thirdly and finally, because we are keeping strictly to time, I come here with realism and gratitude, but also great pride, because in the Church of England on the 12th of March 1994, I'm sure you all know, the first women were ordained to the priesthood in Bristol, in the cathedral that is now my cathedral. And it is such an honour to be bishop of a diocese where the first women were ordained, and none of us in 1994 thought it would be possible that by 2017 the first women would be being ordained as bishop. I was there for that first ordination in the Archdiocese of York when I was dean, so I hosted that occasion and we rejoiced. And there was a protest, and the Archbishop of York, Sentamu, batted away the protest in a very polite way. And then there was a following question: is it your will that Libby should be consecrated bishop? And the roof of the minster, which is a fairly substantial roof, was nearly blown off at that point. So I have lived through exciting times, but they've also been times of difficult change, change that's been hard won. But I'm here really, I hope, as a sign of encouragement for you in whatever way you are considering change in the Church of Rome. That God, creator, redeemer, and sustainer, may continue to bring you new life, assure you of salvation, and above all, sustain you in all your good works. Amen. Amen. And now I think we're going to tea.